By the time it was over, the new occupant of the Viper's passenger seat was the trunk of a 30-foot date palm. I was arrested, taken to jail, and charged with DUI and reckless endangerment. Luckily, I didn't kill anyone or myself. In fact, the arresting officer, who witnessed the entire race, brilliant, stated that had the impact been driver side versus passenger side, I would have been killed. I survived a life-or-death coin flip. In reflection, my choice to race was a treasonous choice. Treasonous choices are actions that do irreparable harm to your life, your dreams, and your goals. The consequences of treasonous choices throw life onto unintended detours and hazardous roads that are difficult to escape and oftentimes permanent. Had I killed someone, I would have spent years in jail, spent half my fortune on lawyers, and had to live with the painful reality that I stole someone's life. Life would have instantly transformed, with new circumstances unveiled. No amount of money can keep you from prison or purge your soul from the foolish horror of taking someone's life. Treasonous choices change your life forever. Jack finances his dream home and takes an $800,000 mortgage, although he only makes $65,000 per year. Due to loose credit and an exploding housing market, he accepts the loan. He doesn't read the documents and assumes his mortgage lender has his best interests at heart. 18 months later, his interest rate adjusts upward and he can't afford the mortgage, forcing him into foreclosure. His poor credit haunts him for 12 years. He can't qualify for a new mortgage and potential business opportunities go untapped. A FastLane millionaire by age 28, Andre has everything: a beautiful wife, money, a healthy baby daughter, and 7 restaurants scattered across the 5 boroughs. Andre is on top of the world. One Friday night, after a few drinks to celebrate his night manager's birthday, Andre drives home drunk. He chooses to think, "I'm okay." On his way home, he gets into an accident and kills a family of 4. Andre is arrested for drunk driving, and after his conviction he spends the next 11 years of his life in prison. He loses his businesses and his family. Andre's life forever changed because of multiple treasonous choices. The choice to drink. The choice to drive. The choice to think, "I'm okay." The series of choices is plentiful, his exit strategy is clear. He doesn't choose wisely. Recent events from the sports pages illustrate the gravity of treason. Football player Michael Vick engaged in criminal activity and it reshaped his life. His legacy, if you call it that, will never be the same. He lost respectability and 2 years of his life. He made multiple choices that started with the choice to commiserate with derelicts engaged in criminal activity. Another NFL football player made a choice and it cost him his life. You'd never think that cheating on your wife could end so tragically. It did for Steve McNair when his mistress allegedly shot him to death in a Nashville, Tennessee, condo. While he didn't choose to be murdered, he chose to pursue the woman. He chose the relationship. He chose to cheat. He chose to act. You see, we aren't just talking about one choice here, but many that make him complicit to the treason. Steve McNair's choices loaded the gun, but someone else pulled the trigger. Your life's steering wheel is a dangerous weapon. 3 inches is all it takes. Jerk your life's wheel 3 tiny inches while speeding and you can steer your life onto a path of no return, or worse, smack into a concrete wall. Like an automobile's steering wheel, your choices are supersensitive. Unfortunately, treasonous roads always have a green light. People drown in the misery of their own choices while neglecting to acknowledge they are the cause. What's chosen today impacts forever, you'll see. You'll see is my mother's code for "I'm right, you're wrong," and time will uncover that truth. As a rebellious teen, Mother lobbed a "you'll see" at me after she surrendered to my pleadings for an off-road motorcycle. Mother didn't like the idea and levied her missive "you'll see." It didn't take long for that "you'll see" to come true. Full of testosterone, cocky, and invincible, a 15-year-old kid with no motorcycle experience gambled with his life. I crashed on a dirt road going 50 miles per hour and broke my wrist and 2 fingers, lost nerves in my knee, and screwed up my neck. While the bones healed, the full array of consequences from that day has not dissipated. Decades later, I live with chronic neck pain and have to sleep in unorthodox positions to avoid discomfort. I've spent countless hours and money on physical therapy and chiropractic treatments. Many times I fantasize about going back in time to that day and bitch-slapping that arrogant kid. I wish I could tell him how things are, I wish I could have him read this chapter, I wish he would understand the trajectory, the horsepower, of his choices. Our choices have consequences that transcend decades. This transcendence is horsepower. Every day my discomfort reminds me of that fateful day when I chose poorly. And today, I'm still paying the mortgage of that choice, a mortgage that never amortizes. The butterfly effect. Can you make a choice this instant that can forever alter the trajectory of your future? You can, and it can be the difference between poverty and wealth. When you make minor permutations, choices that deviate from your initial conditions, profound effects transpire over time. Think of it like a golf club striking a golf ball. When the club face hits the ball square, the ball goes straight and heads toward the hole. But when the club face is rotated a fraction of 1 degree, the ball's trajectory lands far off course. At impact, the divergence is minor, but as the ball travels further it widens and widens until the gap is so large that getting back on track is nearly impossible. A bad choice can set your trajectory off by only 1 degree today, but over years the error is magnified. Choices have this type of divergence over time, and it's called an impact differential. When your choices are extrapolated throughout the years, the divergence widens. The divergence can be either positive or negative. For example, when I moved to Phoenix from Chicago, the impact differential exploded as time passed. Had I not made this choice, my life would be significantly different. I also chose to get a dead-end job as a limo driver, which opened my eyes to a business need. That too was a choice that had extraordinary horsepower and created positive impact differential. The 2003 movie The Butterfly Effect starring Ashton Kutcher is a great film that excellently illustrates choice horsepower. In the movie, the main characters engage in treasonous choices as youngsters, and you witness how each life unfolds as those treasonous choices permeate through time. You see the impact differential. Recognize that every day you make decisions that will ripple through the years. Question is, will your choice ripple to happiness and wealth? Or depression and poverty? The erosion of horsepower. Your choices have significant trajectory into the future, and the younger you are, the more horsepower they exude. Unfortunately, horsepower fades with age. If this is confusing, think about it in terms of an asteroid that is on a collision course with Earth. When an asteroid is millions of miles out in space, representing your youthful choices, a simple 1-degree change in trajectory will save the Earth from destruction. This is the power of horsepower. For us older folks, the asteroid is closer to Earth and closer to our death, which weakens the potency of our choices. A 1-degree change isn't as effective, and for the same potency, it needs to be 10 degrees. When you are under 25, you have maximum horsepower and your choices discharge an incredible amount of firepower. A simple choice I made more than 20 years ago is still felt today. That's a lot of torque. If you reflect on your choices, you make them in an instant, yet their consequences transcend a lifetime, especially ones made early in life. Your life's choices are like a mature oak tree with millions of branches. The branches symbolize the consequences of your choices. Near the trunk of the tree, the branches are thick, reflecting the decisions you've made early in life, while the top branches are thin, symbolizing decisions near the end of your life. Youthful choices radiate the most strength and fabricate the trunk of your tree. As the branches ascend topside through time, they get thinner and weaker. They don't have enough power to bend the tree in new directions because the trunk is thick with age, experience, and reinforced habits. My motorcycle crash had significant horsepower because I feel it today. If you are unmarried with 5 kids by age 23, where do you think the branches of your choice tree will lead? How thick and unbendable is your choice tree? If you skip classes and are drunk for 4 years in college, how will that ripple through your choice tree? If your best friend is a drug dealer, where will that branch lead? At age 16, for a school prank, David ignites a smoke bomb in the school bus, and 14 children suffer smoke inhalation. Fortunately, those children recovered quickly, but David's 10-day stay in juvenile detention forever propels David's life down a different path. David meets Rudy, who teaches David the rules of the perfect burglary. This relationship forges David's new career choice: thievery. After avoiding the law for 7 years, David is caught, convicted, and sentenced to 9 years in prison. Had David not met Rudy, where would he be? A fireman? Banker? Choice and its horsepower transcend At age 17 and against her parents' wishes, Alyssa, an honor student, leaves home to live with a 31-year-old man she met at the local bar 4 months earlier. Her boyfriend introduces her to crystal meth, and what initially started as a funny experiment becomes a life-consuming addiction. Alyssa resorts to illegal activities to support her habit, including stealing from her parents. Her reckoning occurs when she is caught at the local mall stealing and sentenced to 3 years in jail and state-mandated rehabilitation. Had Alyssa listened to her parents, where would she be today? Choice and its horsepower transcend. The smallest choices made in your daily life create habits and lifestyle that forms process. They are the ones that can make the biggest impact. You can't decide to go FastLane, because that itself is just an event. A FastLane process is hundreds of choices. Regardless of age, reflect on your life and analyze the forks in the road and where those forks have taken you. The forks are choices, both large and small, and each shares the common thread of having the magnificent power to take you somewhere different. Whatever you decide today impacts tomorrow, weeks, months, years, decades, and yes, generations. If you're younger than 30, your choices are at peak horsepower because they are growing the thick branches of your choice tree.